My name is Shizuka Takusa, a housewife in her 30s. I live with my husband, Suneo. Suneo is the son of a famous temple around town. We actually visited that temple often. We even had my grandfather's funeral held there. After a while, we eventually married. In the end, my husband decided not to inherit the temple.
I don't want to look after that temple. There's so many people there and it's just tiring. We're slowly losing funding from the public, so they don't earn as much as they used to. Working as a businessman is more rewarding financially.
Much of these earnings are given by families who had their funeral services held at the temple. I didn't blame my husband for not wanting to look after the temple. However, there were times when I felt my husband wasn't even working at a business. Suneo! Didn't you say you had to go to work today?
Shut it! I don't feel so good, so I'm skipping today. Can you call the company for me?
You said the same thing last month. It's only a matter of time till they fire you.
It's okay. The company I'm working at is one of the temple's donators.
The only reason he could even land a job was due to his connections with the temple. He's getting special treatment from the company's president due to this. That's why no one dared to fire him, even though he would often skip work. I don't know how I feel about abusing the temple's connections when you're not even going to inherit the place.
What do you care?
I guess. Well, it's time for me to go to work, so...
I can't believe you willingly go to a place with many kids!
I work as a counselor in a neighboring elementary school. It's an essential line of work as it helps kids deal with their problems. I hold a lot of pride in this work and I'm annoyed that my husband doesn't respect it. I was about to end things with him when the incident occurred. Is this a bra? And it's not even mine. When I got home, I found a bra that belonged to some other girl. I decided to check on my husband, only to see the horrifying scene. Oh, Suneo!
Tomoko!
My husband was sleeping with a different woman. Hey! Who is this lady?
Shizuka!
Hey, Mrs. Wife. My name is Tomoko, and I'm dating your husband. I was furious. What is up with your attitude? Do you not understand what's going on? Well, I am more attractive than you are, so I don't feel threatened. That's why Suneo picked me and not you.
That's right! It's all your fault, Shizuka! You're not as attractive as Tomoko!
What does that have to do with anything?
Shut up! I'm the damn heir to the temple! If I wanted to, I could cut the ties between your family and the temple!
You're not even inheriting the temple, and now you want to use my dead relatives to threaten me?
But I'm still the only son of my parents! I hold all control over your relationship with the temple!
We started fighting over the relationship with the lady being on his side. I decided this wasn't worth my time and left the house to go to my parents' place. After I explained to my parents about what had happened, they allowed me to stay that night. I was worried they would be mad at me for possibly cutting ties with the sacred temple, but they told me that there's no way the actual heir to the temple would do such a thing. I thought my husband was going to divorce me the next day, and the only reason he was being aggressive was to make sure he didn't have to pay any damages. It was only time for us to split up. That's why I decided to talk to his house the next day. However, that was when I found out he made some adjustments to the house. What? Did he change the locks? That was when my husband and his girlfriend opened the door with the chain. They smiled towards me and said, "Oh, what are you doing here? I thought you said you were never coming back." This is my house. But we already packed your stuff up. Isn't that right, Suneo?
That's right! And we sold it all! We actually made some good money!
How dare you!
You know what? Come on in! We need you to take some stuff away!
The moment they let me in the house, I ran towards my room. But they were true to their words, as most of my things were missing. They even sold things that were valuable to me. Don't worry, I'm keeping all of your good stuff with me. That's the bag I bought with my first ever paycheck. Give it back to me. No way, Suneo gave it to me. This was my bag.
Hey! What are you doing to Tomoko?
Suneo suddenly pushed me down to protect Tomoko. Pathetic.
We're done for! Tomoko is much better than you'll ever be. You're just a lonely student counselor that wastes their time talking to useless kids. You're not fit to be the wife of the heir to the temple.
You're not even the proper heir.
See? Not cute at all. Can't you even cry?
Fine, let's get a divorce. I don't want you in my life anymore. Hey, old hag, stop with the tone. Shut up. You're going to regret this as I regretted ever marrying this guy. I gave them the divorce papers already signed by me.
By the way, I'm also taking this house with me.
What? This was my house before we been married. You're the one leaving this house.
The moment we married, it became our house, you idiot!
I was at a loss for words with his stupidity, and I didn't want to spend most of my life dealing with these two idiots, so I decided to just leave. Can you give me some time to think about this?
Fine!
Thank you.
If you were always like this, we would have never gotten a divorce, you know. Now you'll spend the rest of your life regretting this.
Please, I just need a little time to think this through.
Sure thing.
As soon as I left the house, I went straight towards my ex-husband's temple. I knew he would try to leverage the temple to be on his side of the divorce. I showed my in-laws the recording of the whole ordeal.
What is wrong with our son?
He cheated on you and then threatened you? They then began apologizing for everything that their son had done.
We never could find Suneo a wife, and you were the only one there for him. And now he's treating you like this? Not to mention using our family name to abuse power.
I don't know what to tell my dead relatives if they see this. They apologized on behalf of their son and told me they were going to fix everything. Thank you so much. I was about to cry after hearing their words. Although I did have my in-laws' support, I already had the plan to get back at him, so I just told them not to let him in the house if he ever came back. I know I came here for help, but I wanted to tell them that I already have plans to return to my house. That house is owned under my father's name, so there's no way he'll win the place over me.
I'm glad to hear that.
Afterwards, I went back to my parents to tell them to sell the house. After the house was sold, my husband's girlfriend decided to leave him. At the same time, I gave him my divorce papers.
Hey! What the hell did you do? Why were we kicked out of our own house?
It's because it's not your house, dummy. I don't want to spend the rest of my life living in the same house you had an affair in. So I decided to sell the place.
What the hell? Why did you do that without the breadwinner's permission?
Do you know what name that house was bought under?
Of course! Mine!
And that's why you're an idiot. Do you really think someone that earned less than me has the money to own that house?
But doesn't the house usually go to the husband?
Too bad that house was given to my father after my grandfather passed away. So that house is under my father's name.
Why didn't you change it?
I always knew you would do something like this.
I'm not allowing this! Change it! I need this house!
I already filed my divorce, so that house is officially not yours anymore.
Already? Don't you feel an ounce of remorse?
Nada.
You cold bitch!
Didn't you say you never liked my cold demeanor? Why don't you go back to your little girlfriend and live with her?
I don't have money! Tomoko doesn't work too!
Then I guess you'll finally be able to be the breadwinner of the house. Although there's a very big quotation between that name.
You! Fine! I'll just go back to my parents' place!
As soon as he cut the call, he went straight to his parents, only to be met with furious parents. That was when my ex-husband said something terrible.
Mom, Dad, I'm gonna become a monk and inherit this temple. So please, let me in. And who is that girl? I got a divorce from Shizuka. She kicked me out of the house. Isn't she the worst? That was when Tobiko saved me. She could stay with us. Stop lying, you idiot. What? You told Shizuka she was being cut off from the temple, huh? That was just a play on words and... How dare you say that to her? And I already know about the affair. Damn it! Did Shizuka tell you? It was already bad when you cheated on her. But it's worse to threaten her whole family. And you never even trained properly to inherit this temple. That was because I was too busy with work and... Shut it! I don't want to ever see your face in this place again! No!
Suneo was kicked out of his house and was fired from his job immediately. I was able to get my house back and immediately change the keys so they couldn't come back. Not to mention I sued them for selling all my stuff without my permission and some money from my alimony. What surprised me is that Suneo paid all of the money in one day. That was when Suneo sent me an ominous message.
Shizuka, did you check your bank account?
Yeah. How did you get this much money already? Did you do something illegal?
Right now, I'm working as somewhat of a counselor. That money was given to me by those who benefited from my presence.
Huh?
I bet my counseling is way better than yours. Would you like to hear my story?
I had a bad feeling about this. I did hear some stories of shady counselors in the field. I was worried that Suneo had gotten his hands on the wrong side of life. I decided to meet up with him to see what he was doing. When I met him, I was surprised. He was living in a new temple.
After our divorce, I decided to strengthen my faith. Now, I work to help those who require guidance.
Suneo created his own cult to earn money. He had many followers, which was seen around the temple.
To those who walk the wrong path, blah 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 blah. So if you buy this charm, everything will be fine.
He was scamming people. I couldn't believe he was scamming innocent people. But his baseless sermon was able to reach people who were in desperate need of guidance. That way he was able to scam people out of their own wallets.
How was it? I bet you're feeling stupid leaving me, huh? But fear not, I can save you. The money I sent you was to save you. If you surrender your heart to me, I will raise you into the heavens.
Suneo's plan was to pay the money to lure me into his weird cult. I wasn't fooled, but I had a plan. Yes, Master Suneo! I decided to infiltrate the cult from the inside. Sure enough, he was selling junk to vulnerable people to earn money. As a counselor myself, I couldn't stand him benefiting off the vulnerabilities of others. I even met families who were destroyed by Suneo's cult. And the things he was selling were actually statues he stole from his own temple. I even found him stealing things that were donated by his father's temple's patrons. I immediately informed Suneo's parents about his wrongdoings.
Thanks to these idiots, I'm rich! I'm running low on some things I stole, so I should probably order some online.
Suneo began selling thousands of charms he bought online. That was when I decided to end things for him. That night, I decided to invite Suneo over for dinner. I can't believe you're helping so many people. But isn't that charm a little too expensive?
It's fine! Those idiots will buy whatever I give them. My followers are too stupid to suspect otherwise. I can't believe I didn't start this earlier.
Thanks to the alcohol, he began blabbing about everything. I succeeded in recording his admission of his wrongdoings. The next day, Suneo went on to blab about nonsense to his followers.
Thank the Lord!
Lord Suneo! After their sermon, I called over all of the followers to show them a video. I would like to show you a video from our kind savior, Suneo. I turned on the TV to show them everything Suneo said the other day.
Shizuka! What the hell is this? This isn't me!
Suneo's face turned pale immediately. What is this?
This is Shizaka's trap! It's not my fault!
Sorry, I should show you the whole video. That's right, I didn't do this once, but multiple times spanning over a week.
Seriously, all my followers are such idiots! They would pay me thousands of yen for a charm that cost me like 100 yen! I'm gonna enjoy myself tonight with all this money!
His followers became visibly furious. I can't believe I paid money to this guy!
Please, forgive me!
All of his followers ganged up on him. He ran back to his house but was locked in by his followers. Afterwards, the police came by to arrest Suneo. His followers tore down his room, revealing expensive clothes and bags he owned. Now Suneo had a ton of debt, having to pay off all the money and things he stole from his parents' temple.
I'm not a fraud! I was saving people's lives!
He tried his best to paint a better picture of himself in court, but no one believed his empty words. Now, he and Tomoko, who was in on the scam, are now rotting in jail for their actions. As for myself, this incident inspired me to help those scammed by a cult.